All right, so we're back here at Dismal River, and we're at Buffalo Bill's Pub, where Billy makes it all happen, baby.
Welcome back, Corey. Good to see you.
So anyway, when we were out here last week, or 10 days ago or so, we were talking about, I was talking with Billy about why they named it Buffalo Bill's Pub. And the neat thing about it is Buffalo Bill's history to Dismal River is so deep because he had his cattle ranch here, and it's right here on the Dismal River. We also know where he hunted all these buffalo, which is right here in this very area as well. So what's kind of fun is this weekend we're going out and we're going to learn everything we possibly can about Buffalo Bill, and we're going to help you understand the history of Dismal River and Buffalo Bill and his connection to really the American culture, which all started right here on the Dismal River. So stay with us. We're really excited to bring you this episode. So we're on our way to meet John Howe, and he's our activities director, hunting director here at Dismal River. And we're gonna go learn about where Buffalo Bill actually lived, and the buffalo that are still here. The same herd that was here for thousands of years. We're gonna go see those buffalo, and we're gonna learn all about these majestic animals, and really the one link that we have to the history of American culture right here in the frontier, along with Buffalo Bill and his link to Dismal River and his homestead there. So that will be, well, this will be a truly amazing day, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. We're here. Let's go see if John's around. What's happening, big boy?
Huh?
What's happening?
Careful what places you stumble into around here, huh? What's up, brother?
Everybody, it's John Howe. John Howe's the man. He's the outdoor director of hunting and outdoor activities here at Dismal River. So we're pretty excited to hang around with this guy today.
Good to have you boys, man.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
it'll
some
be fun. Absolutely, man.
The headquarters for his cattle operation is just west of here.
Okay.
So we can go there if we need to, or we can just talk about it in general as we're driving, because the other option is to go down where the buffalo are 10 miles from the nearest road.
Okay.
So it takes a little bit to get to them, 30, 45 minutes.
So we're riding around with John, and this is the history right here is on this pad, right, John?
Yep. This is the headquarters here for our ranch, for our family ranch. That has been in the family for 5 generations. We've been cattle ranching for a long, long time.
Yeah, and so literally the Dismal River is right here. Like,
that's right. The North Fork and the South Fork confluence are right here below the headquarters. This is where the two rivers come together. Of course, they start right up there at Dismal River Club, where we spend a lot of time, and then it finishes about 80 miles downstream, flows into the middle of it.
huh? That's crazy.
Yep.
That is awesome.
You ride around in this sucker, you got to be prepared to open gates, boys. I don't know which one's designated to do that, but
Hey, I'll take the first one.
all right. So Buffalo Bill Cody was an amazing human being. I mean, he led quite a life. He was born in 1846, and at 14 years old, he became a Pony Express rider. He responded to an ad that was soliciting for these Pony Express riders that said, skinny, expert rider, willing to risk life and death daily. At 14 years old, that's what he did. I'm in, sign me up. But when he was 21 years old, in 1867, he became a buffalo hunter. And the whole purpose, 21 years old.
Huh.
And the whole purpose of that was to supply food for the construction workers building railroads.
Yep.
And in a little over a year and a half time, 1867 to 1868, Buffalo Bill Cody was responsible for successfully hunting over 4,000 buffalo. So he became very well known for his sharpshooting skills, his hunting skills. I mean, he was a frontiersman, man. He was a man's man, and started to develop that reputation. There was another guy by the name of Bill Comstock.
Yeah.
Bill Comstock was also pretty reputable as a successful buffalo hunter, and so they ended up kind of having a squabble over the name Buffalo Bill.
Really?
Over the nickname. And so it was determined that they were going to have a competition on who could earn the right to have that nickname Buffalo Bill.
Really?
So they set out on a buffalo hunt over the course of 8 hours in one day to see who could successfully hunt the most amount of buffalo. So there was a different hunting style, but there was a big difference in the rifle.
Love it.
And he called it Old Lucretia.
Old Lucretia.
Yep, and that was the rifle that he used in this competition, and he ended up winning. He was able to successfully hunt 68 buffalo in a matter of 8 hours, where Bill Comstock was able to hunt 48.
Really?
So he beat him by 20, and thus he earned the nickname Buffalo Bill.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey, that's a legend.
That's it right there. Some pretty cool. And all of that happened right around here, man.
Right on the
right in this
Dismal River,
area.
baby.
Yep, a lot of that up and down in this area, in the sand hills here, the Dismal River.
I mean, you got to be kidding.
There's a lot of cool history here. And that area right down there that we're looking at is where they built their headquarters for that cattle ranch. And so they cut these cedar trees and built a cedar log cabin right here, and corrals and everything, and they hired cowboys to come up here, and it was all free range. So it was estimated that they ended up having a cow herd of a little over 17,000 head. So he and Frank North ended up having a falling out, and Buffalo Bill bought his share, his half of the herd and the operation, and continued to run it there for a while. And then eventually, Buffalo Bill sold all of it to an English group that wanted to be cattle ranchers. And I've looked at the numbers, and the numbers are around about $100,000 what he ended up getting for the operation, for the cattle. And that money then is what he used in the early 1880s, I believe 1883, to start his Wild West show, is from the cattle that he sold here on the Dismal River. But this was the area that it all started for him. If it weren't for the sandhills and the Dismal River and his cow herd, he may not have ever had the money to start his Wild West show, which was very lucrative for him. When they said at a point in time, his Wild West show was generating a little over $1 million a year in Europe, in the US, and it was quite a production. It was quite a production. But this was the nucleus of it.
Right here on the Dismal.
Yeah.
So John, we just pulled into the ranch here where the buffalo are. Tell us a little bit about, this being, Buffalo Bill and the buffalo, the connection to the community, to Dismal River. Tell us about the role the buffalo play right here today as you manage the herd.
Yeah, so to me, it's about bringing, the most iconic piece of American history, and specifically this area, back home. And we decided to do that as a family 25 years ago. It was all my mom. It was my mom's idea. She wanted to bring buffalo back into this area in a herd that we owned privately and we could manage, but we could keep extremely wild and very natural. This is a genetically pure herd of American buffalo. And more specifically, this herd of buffalo carries a certification, like you had mentioned, and it's an AWA certification, which stands for Animal Welfare Approved. And it's an organization that really celebrates operations that are able to do that, whether it's free-range chickens or grass-fed beef or different things like that. It's a very hard to acquire status, extremely difficult, because it has to be completely natural. There has to be very little to no human interaction whatsoever. And that's this herd. I mean, they're 10 miles from the nearest road. These buffalo see far less people than the buffalo in Yellowstone. And so this is as natural and as pure as you can get. This is exactly like the herd was 130 years ago when Buffalo Bill Cody was out here and this area was designated to the Sioux Indians. I mean, this is the same landscape, same vegetation, same climate, and the same buffalo. I mean, these buffalo are direct descendants of the few that were left in this area that almost completely became extinct. I keep using this word, and it's spiritual, right? And to me, that explains so much of it. You know, the fact that we are able to, it's almost a celebration to me that we're able to have that type of a food source that meant everything to the Native American population in the way of, it was, you know, the buffalo was shelter to them, it was tools to them, it was food for them, it was clothing for them, it was life for them. And the whole history of millions of them down to a few hundred without the conservation efforts of a lot of great people along the way, but namely Teddy Roosevelt, who created the American Bison Society, they probably would have became extinct. And so it to me and a lot of people, it's the greatest conservation story in the history of our country. And the fact that at Dismal River Club, you know, our guests and members have the opportunity, you know, to purchase and consume, you know, a product that is that natural, that is that wild. These buffalo are harvested right here in their natural state in a very, very non-invasive way, in a way that they don't even know humans are around. And it's done very selectively, it's done one at a time, and then it's processed right here locally. And our chef at Dismal River Club is a part of that whole process on the way he wants the cuts done, the age of the animal, how it's packaged, how it's prepared, obviously, and then how it gets to your plate. I don't think anybody else on the planet's doing something like that.
All right, so we just got back and had a great time with John today. Learned a lot about Buffalo Bill and the bison herd out here on the Dismal River, baby. And hey, this is where we bring the plains to the plate. So hey, we're all gathering around. Tony just brought out the full spread, and look at these tomahawks. Give us a little bit about the tomahawks, Tony. How'd you prepare them tonight?
So what I did is I put a dry rub on them before I have them in a beer brine for about 24 to 48 hours.
Pulled them out, gave them a quick sear, finished in the oven at like 450 for like 35 minutes. Finished them with a little steak butter, our in-house steak butter that we had serving all our steaks here. 26, 28 ounce with bone in.
Unbelievable. Hey, you ready for a Bison Feast? Dismal River style, baby. I mean, we got our spare ribs, we got a bison burger, and look at this, we got the marrow. I mean, this is incredible. And we're all gonna sit down. Tony's not even done serving it yet. And he's gonna bring it all out. And we got a crew, we're gonna sit down. Hey, and we're having a Bison Feast. You just can't beat it. Right here at Dismal River, only here at Dismal River. Buffalo Bill was one of the most famous people that ever walked the earth. It all started here just over 100 years ago. Thanks, Buffalo Bill. Dismal River loves you. This is our Dismal Life. You're watching Dismal River TV.